I was walking into the gym for the first time ever. At the time, I was a skinny, like 16-year-old guy, and I had a dream of getting a physique like I have now. As I walked in the gym, I was so lost, so nervous, so like just clueless. It was such a new environment to me. I remember going up to like the pin code, and I didn't know what like code to put in. I didn't understand which one, and someone had to help me out for that. But I was trying the machines, and I didn't know how they worked. I was I was like pulling them the wrong way. I don't even know what I was doing, but I was messing them up, and someone else had to help me with that. This whole time I was like lost, but I wanted this physique. I wanted to get in such good shape, but I had no clue how. And in this video, I want to break down for my younger self like, how I could do that, how the easy steps for how I could do this. The first step was bulking. I remember I was sitting, it was just late at night and I was scrolling on my phone. As I was looking at my phone, I was just scrolling and scrolling. I was trying to learn about like getting jacked in the gym. So I was searching like how to build muscle, how to get big videos. As I was doing that, bulking came up a lot and dirty bulking did. Essentially what bulking was and how I understood it was, if you just eat loads of food, you're gonna gain weight. And if you then go to the gym at the same time, instead of gaining the fat, you're gonna gain muscle. So you eat loads of food and go gym and you'll gain muscle. This is how I understood it. So I'm learning the best bulking foods to eat, the highest calorie foods. These foods were like bagels, cookie doughs, like ice cream, smoothies, milkshakes, all different stuff like this. I had so many like massive high calorie recipes where I had like a cookie dough batch. I would eat it every day and it was about 1,300 calories. And I did this. I was eating pizzas. I was just eating everything and anything. How I knew bulking was, I'm just going to eat loads of food. I'm going to get big. And while I'm going to gym, it's going to translate into muscle. I'm just going to be really jacked after. So that's what I started doing and it was starting to work. I remember I was sitting in my kitchen every day. I'd be sitting there so stuffed. I'd ate bagels, pizzas. I'd have like everything I could physically fit in my mouth and I'd sit in there. I'd be in such a slump. I wouldn't feel very like alive, very healthy at that moment in time. But I thought it'd all be worth it. It would all be for this dirty bulk, for getting big. So I'd sit there, I'd stuff my face with every single food there was. But it was working. I benched 100 kg within 6 months of the gym. Not many people can do this. It takes most people like 3 years, 2 years. It took me 6 months. That's because I was doing this dirty bulk and it felt like it was working. But then there was one day, I remember the session, I repped out at 100 kg. I did it for reps at this point. And I looked in the mirror. Like I came after the session and I like to check out my pump. I like to check how I look. I looked in the mirror. I just feel overweight. I feel like I've got a belly. I feel spotty. I don't feel healthy, energetic, vibrant at all. I feel quite awful. And because the whole time leading up to this moment, I was just eating shit. I was eating pizzas, Pop-Tarts. Every day I'd leave the gym and I'd buy 2 cakes and I'd strand them both down me. I'd do this all for bulking, just getting as many calories as I could. But that wasn't the right way. That wasn't the plan I should have followed. That wasn't what I wish I did. Instead, if I had to tell my young self how to do it again, it would be a completely different thing. So instead of doing this dirty, like unhealthy bulking, I'd go for this lean, healthy bulking. This bulking where you eat whole foods. You only eat a healthy food, the foods that athletes would eat. And you just eat these foods in a higher amount. As what this will do for you is it will give you all the nutrients, all the right calories your body needs. And with this, you'll gain the muscle, you'll get bigger, you'll get more wham. But you won't get fat, you won't get like a chubby belly, you won't get more spots on your face, more like chubby cheeks. Instead, you'll be healthy, you'll be energetic, you'll be vibrant while gaining muscle. A meal plan that you could do for this would be like 6 eggs in the morning as soon as you wake up. You should maybe even have some like oats, so it's porridge with that. Then for lunch, you want to meal prep, you want to cook your own meals, make your own chicken, which is hard, but that's what you got to do to get in shape. You should have like chicken and rice or fish and rice cakes or like a protein, a meat and a vegetable and like rice or a vegetable. Then for dinner, have something like mince, which is just a red meat and it's really nice tasting, it's cheap and there's a lot of calories in it. Doing this, you can gain a muscle, you can get bigger, but you can stay lean. And I wish I'd knew that because I only thought the only way I could bulk was eat loads of garbage. As it sounded fun to eat cookies and all this unhealthy food. But there was such a downside to it. For spots, for mood swings, for like laying in bed feeling so lazy, feeling like you don't want to get up in the morning. This wasn't worth it. So I tell myself to eat clean, to eat the whole foods. The second step is going to the gym. the first time I went to the gym, I remember when I actually started doing workouts, I was doing a leg day at one point and I walked around the gym. I had a sort of plan. I watched a couple of TikTok videos of what workouts I was going to do. I walked around the gym. I was going to do squats. And I remember first trying it and just feeling too scared to. I felt like everyone was looking at me. I remember the feeling of standing there, feeling like 100 eyes were on me, like everyone was staring at me. I was too scared to squat as I didn't want people to like laugh at my form and tell me my form was bad. So instead, I go and do a leg machine. And I was doing leg curls. And after I finished 3 sets of leg curls, I didn't know what else to do. So then I went to the leg curl machine again. I walked around the gym. I went back to the same machine and just did 3 more and 3 more. So I didn't know what I was doing at all. And like each session wasn't enjoyable in the gym. I didn't like it at all. It felt like such a burden to go to the gym. It felt like I just hated going to the gym. Really didn't like it. As it was so busy and it was just stressful. I didn't know what I was doing. As well as this, I didn't like train hard at all. I'd go until like I felt a little burn, until I felt like a little tingle, and then I'd leave it. I'd put the weight back down again. I don't know why I did this. I just didn't like the pain of like doing bicep curls to failure. I didn't like that pain, so I'd put them down as soon as it started hurting. But I learned through watching another TikTok video, I learned how we actually build muscle is when we go to the gym, we tear our muscles down. What we have to do is every like weight you use it to burn your muscles, to cause micro tears in your muscles. Doing this, it fatigues your muscles, it makes them tired, it's what makes them burn. But as we make them burn, this is when they start to grow. As once they're burnt, they'll grow back but stronger and bigger. And I remember going to gym with my friend once. He was way more experienced than me. He knew what he was doing. I watched him work out and he would train till he was red in the face, till he physically couldn't do no more. Like he'd do bench press and you'd have to lift the weight off him because he'd go to failure like as hard as he could physically push. This made me realise that's what I was doing wrong. That's why I was still staying skinny. As I was training, I was going gym, but I wasn't tearing my muscles down. I wasn't taking them to failure, to the point where they can't work anymore. Instead, I was just like lifting the weights. I was doing it just for fun, just for like, until I felt a little burn. But I had to push myself to my limits to like break this mental barrier and just push and push and push. And with this, I saw progress every week. When I was doing bench press, it was at 60 kg, and it was at 65, it was at 70. Each week I was going up and up. And this felt amazing. This felt like I was getting stronger, like I was getting to my goals. I was getting wham. And as this happened, I couldn't help but smile. I couldn't help but feel good. And one of the best things that helped me do this was the Strong app. This is an app where you can track all your workouts and you can track what you're doing. Doing this, I could just keep progressively overloading, adding a little bit of weight each week so I could tear my muscles down even more. But I could go to gym, I could tear my muscles down, I could push myself to my limits. But I'd come home and I'd just play video games. I'd play video games all day. I mean, I'd scroll on my phone and I'd watch YouTube. It'd be like 12, 1, 2 at night. And I'd just be watching YouTube. I'd be watching David Dobrik vlogs. I remember I'd sit there and I'd always like laugh and I'd have to hold in my laugh so no one can hear me. And doing this, I thought it was fun. I thought it was fine to do. But the problem is, when you go to the gym, you tear your muscles down. You take them to the till they can't work no more. You fatigue them. But for them to recover, for them to grow back bigger, you need sleep. You need good nutrition. As me sleeping about 3-4 hours a night, that meant when I woke up the next day, my muscles still ached so much. I remember once I couldn't open my arms properly for days. Like they felt stuck, they'd open so slowly. This was because I weren't sleeping, I weren't recovering properly, I weren't getting the sleep, getting the nutrition I needed. So you got to have that recovery. You got to have a good 9 hours of sleep, 8 hours of sleep, sorry. So that meant me going to bed at 10 p.m. and waking up at 7. And just this schedule, it helped me build a muscle and get bigger. And the third step is consistency. I went to the gym once a week with my friend. Every time we'd go, I'd be standing there, we'd be doing a machine, and on our rest, he'd always ask me have you hit your bulk today? Have you hit the calories you needed? My answer would always be no. I had a plan, I knew what I was doing, I was training hard, but I wasn't doing it enough. I'd tell him, no, I'll do it tomorrow, I'm going to bang it tomorrow, next week it's going to be a good week. But it never was. It was always, I'd do it for one day, I'd miss it for 3. This led to no progress for a long time. And I'd complain about it. I'd be like, why aren't I making progress? Why can't I get bigger? Why can't I have this muscle? Why am I staying skinny? but then I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do what I planned to do. I wouldn't do what I said to do, and I wouldn't do it day in, day out. And like, you don't deserve progress if you can't be consistent with it and do it when you don't want to do it. Do it when it's hard. Do it when you're full up, but you still got to eat more calories. When you have to, that's when you have to do it. That's when you make the progress. And I wish I didn't know that. So I knew what to do, but I never did it. And I think I remember this point where I came home from school one day, and I would always bike everywhere. So I came home from school, I got changed for the gym, and it started pouring it down with rain. Like, generally torrential rain. I remember it like raining so heavily. And my mum says, surely you're not going gym in this. As I had my bike ready, and I'm like, I really don't want to go, because it was like pouring it down. And I thought about like what I've been doing all this time. I only go on days where I want to go. I only go on days when like the sun's out, when I feel right. But that's not how you make muscle. That's not the way people do it. Instead, you got to go when you don't want to. You got to go when it's hard. You got to go every day of the week. Doing this, you have to make muscle. It's impossible not to make muscle. It's like an equation. It's 2 + 2 = 4. If you go to the gym every day, train hard, do the good diet, stay consistent with it, you'll have the physique you want. It's impossible not to happen. It's the laws of logic. And me knowing this, me knowing the laws of logic, knowing it has to happen, I get on my bike, put my coat on, and bike there in the pouring rain. I remember, you know, when the wind's pushing you back so hard, you're hardly moving, the wheels aren't even spinning anymore. But I get to the gym, it's a hard ride there. And I like walk in the gym so drenched, my legs are dripping, my coat, like the rain's gone through my coat, it's been that bad. But I feel so good, I can't lie. I haven't even started the session yet, but I know I've just proved something to myself. I've done commitment, no one else is going that day. No one else that I know was biking through that rain, training, going to the gym and then training hard. But I was, and that made me see I had the commitment, I had the consistency. And I developed this consistency through going to the gym, pushing myself, disciplining myself. And when it like translated, I started to be more consistent with my diet, be more consistent with the way I sleep. And I started to just like have self-respect for myself and do the right thing, the thing that I know I should have done. As all of this got me in really good shape. It's what got me the physique I always wanted. But it wasn't easy. It was very difficult. There was times where I felt like giving up. There was times I felt like quitting. There was times where I never stuck to my diet, where I cheated on it for a week, 2 weeks. But I always had to come back. I always had to discipline myself and just persevere and just keep trying. As this that logical equation, if you just keep going, if you just keep pushing yourself, you will get there one day. And once I realised that, a sort of clarity came to me. If I just keep trying, if I just keep going, I will get the physique. If you follow the steps, you will get there. But that was all for this video. So please comment down below now if you have any questions of like the foods you should be eating, the workouts you should be doing, anything. I'm free to help. But apart from that, like and subscribe now. I'll see you in the next video. Bash.